Hello my fellow nightcrawlers, welcome to a brand new video. As usual, grab your blankets and grab your snacks and get comfortable because today we're actually not going to be looking into a case, more of just something that I wanted to talk about because this is something that means a lot to me. This topic is mental health and how to properly ensure that you're in the right state of mind when consuming true crime or looking at disturbing movies or anything of the sort. There's a lot of inspiration that came from me wanting to discuss this topic, but the main one was in an article that was written by a friend of mine by the name of Rua. It's in the description below. I got interviewed by her. She asked a lot of interesting questions. It's overall just really, really interesting. And one of them pertained to how do you ensure that you're basically in the right state of mind? Like, what do you do to ensure that you're in a good place for this type of thing? If you're interested in some of the questions that were asked and my answers to them, click the first link in the description and it'll take you right to it. And it wasn't just Rua alone that was asking me these things. I've received multiple comments, DMs, there were things in my Discord server. There were a lot of different things pertaining to mental health and ensuring that you're in a right state of mind when looking at these things. And how do you do it? How do you do it? So I figured I already did this before. This was a couple months ago pertaining to mental health and how to stay in the right mindset, but I figured I might as well talk about it again. This is going to be a little bit more specifically what I do though. So what works for me might not necessarily work for you. So be aware of that and take that into account as I list the things that tend to help me get out of a rut if I'm feeling a little bad when I'm looking into a case or watching something disturbing. One of the first things that I tend to do is detoxify myself away from a lot of the negativity that comes from these cases. I've covered a lot of things on my channel, a wide variety of topics that require a good chunk of research and a lot of understanding into the darkness of the world. So one of the first things that I tend to lean more toward is pushing that type of media away from me. So ensuring that I'm not looking into true crime as much. As I mentioned before, the world has a lot of darkness to it, and some of the cases that you look into are really, really dark. So separating yourself from the case is probably one of the best things that I can recommend. Like, if you start noticing like, oh, this is crushing and it's kind of weighing on you for the next few days, maybe not look into additional cases over the next few weeks or so. The second thing is kind of pertaining to a little bit of a meme recently is go touch grass. Not even lying. Go touch some grass. Walk outside. See the sun. Go do something pertaining to exercise. Walk around the neighborhood, if you will. Literally, go outside. Now, I know this is like a classic one, like anyone is like, just go outside. If you're feeling depressed, just go outside. I get that. It's a very cheesy answer, but I mean, it's just the truth. I notice I begin to feel a lot more appreciative of the things that are around me when I take a walk around my neighborhood and let the sun hit me while I listen to some of my favorite music. I might even call a friend in the middle of me doing all that stuff. It could be a ridiculous conversation pertaining to, hey, did you look at this funny meme that I found? Or pertaining to something that's happening at school or just anything. So as funny as the answer may be, genuinely go outside. It helps. It really does. I mentioned this kind of briefly in the last example, but this next one I would definitely say is confide in some friends. Not even like explaining that you're feeling upset, just more on hang out with some friends, talk with them, play a game with them, call them. Your friends are there for a reason, and they usually, 9 times out of 10, should be bringing you up. If you feel like you're going to your friends and they're bringing you down a lot of the time, that's a different subject. Maybe look into different friends, but your friends should be lifting you up. So maybe play some Minecraft, play some Terraria, or call them and talk about the latest movie that came out. Just get out there and talk with some buddies, whether it's in person, whether it's online. There's a multitude of things that you can do to connect with your friends. I honestly really can't stress enough how important friends are. A lot of the situations where I've been feeling down or something like that, I've been immediately pulled out of them when I've talked with a friend or we hung out or we played a game or two or something like that. It separates a lot of the negativity that you might conjure up from looking at a really dark case or even reading one, listening to one, whatever the case may be. And it allows you to just put that away and hang out with some pals. It's really, really good. I think friends are very, very important in trying to dig yourself out of a little bit of a true crime rut, if you will. The next and final thing that I would really say is something that helps me out is Do something you enjoy. Obviously, doing something that you enjoy is different for every person. So I'm gonna, again, kind of take it, as I said in the beginning of the video, more on what I do that helps me out. So yeah, we're just gonna go from there. One of the things that I really like doing is hanging out with friends and playing some ridiculous game. One of my favorite games for the past year or so has been Dead by Daylight. I love just either playing solo or going in a call with a friend and then just hammering out a game or something like that. Sure, we might die or something like that, but it's just fun. It's a good way to break away from some of the darkness of the world, to just enjoy a moment with your pals. Another one of my favorite things to do is read. I love reading. I love learning. I love learning about new things. And of course, one of the things I like to learn about is true crime. So I kind of have to not read that, and I might have to read something else. But I mean, whether that's like a manga that that my friend has been pestering me about to read, I can maybe finally start opening that back up and get back into doing it. Like, for example, Berserk. I need to get to that. I kind of stopped a few months back, so should probably maybe start reading Berserk again. Should probably do that. I like playing instruments. I love taking time out of my day to pick up my guitar and play some random chords or something like that, or make a little tune in my head that would be fun. Basically, it all boils down to just do what's best for you, make yourself happy here. Do something that means a lot to you. There's a time and place to learn about true crime. You don't always have to be learning about the darkness of the world. And that's something that I wanted to ensure that I at least came out and tried to address a few times in regards to like these types of videos, because I do know how taxing they can be. They're very fascinating things to learn about. They're very interesting, but it can take a toll on the mind. I feel like it would be good to maybe do these types of videos every so months, just so that way, you know, it's at least fresh and in the feed and whatnot, because mental health is very important when you research these types of things. If you're in a rut and you're researching this type of stuff, it's going to naturally weigh on you. So a lot of it is just recognizing, are you in the right state of mind to be looking into these types of things? Because if you aren't, maybe take a break. Maybe do some of the things that I listed in this video, because the last thing that you want to do to yourself is dig a deeper and deeper rut and feel even more miserable and start thinking, oh man, the world is just so bleak and dark and there's just nothing, man. Like, no, there's a lot of good in this world. There's a lot of good things out there. There's a lot of things to be appreciative of. So take time out of your day and find the things that mean a lot to you or something to be appreciative of. Before we do hop into the end segment, though, I would like to thank my patrons because I appreciate you guys, and I feel like that's obviously worthy of a shout out. Shizun? Please message me on how to say her name. I'm so sorry. We got Cam, we got Caden, Dark Moon 2, Christopher, Snake Girl, Rylan, and Lint. I do appreciate your guys' support, genuinely. It really does mean a lot. Thank you guys so much. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why not like and subscribe? It definitely helps me out. But if you didn't, why not dislike and let me know what I can improve on for next time? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will see y'all in the next one.